Well, first off, I'd like to let you know that I appreciate those who went ahead and switched with us. I was involved in an accident. Maybe some of you heard, some of you didn't. We're all fine. So thank you for allowing us to do that. So the reason I got in this race is because of a bunch of things. But the main reason was we've seen property taxes increase in the last few years. One, plus 60%, plus 40%. And I said, this is crazy. Then I started doing some research, and I found that the county commissioners went from $119,000 up to almost $170,000, plus benefits. That puts them over 200 and some odd thousand. Yet they brought on 20 new employees into the commissioner office. Why? The other commissioners didn't need them in the past. County is actually decreasing in services. And when I say that, it means that cities are taking up some of those services. So why are we bloating our government with more employees? Don't understand that. The other fact, the reason I got in is because I thought, you know what, I'm at the end of my career. I would do anesthesia for a living. I worked in the fire department for 23 years, left that, went into anesthesia. I've been doing that for almost 20 years. Almost 20 years this year. And then I decided, you know what, I can retire at this point, and I can give full service to the community. And I want to right the things that are wrong in our county commissioner's office. And that's why I'm running.
Okay. Thank you, Brent, for that opening statement. Michelle.
The other day, I was loading the truck with all the things you need to go to a meet and greet. And I had my cute little son, Bronson, helping me. And he was lifting tables and things, and he stopped and said, "Mom, why do you keep doing this? Do you just love to be publicly criticized and ridiculed?" And for a son to say that, you can't, like, it's giving me goosebumps right now repeating it. It's kind of like a gut punch, and you pause and you think, yeah, what is going on? What is my why? I literally stopped and I said, "Bronson, listen to me. There's a reason I do this. Being out in the public is not easy. You get criticized. It's long hours. It's a lot of work. But the reason I do it and have done it previously is because it matters. We need strong leadership, qualified people, people that know what they're doing in these leadership positions." I was raised by a single mom with 7 kids in our family. She worked the graveyard shift at the hospital. She was my inspiration for all my leadership roles I've gone after because she taught us hard work, responsibility, service. You don't sit around and wait for the government to come in and save you. You get out, you put your head down, and you work harder. We were all working at 12 years old. I know how to do hard things. I know how to do this job, and I would love to represent you as county commissioner.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate that. Harvey will have our first question to start the debate off.
So I led off with a question last time that both of you just answered. So I'm going to go and pivot. So my question is, from this previous administration, what didn't get done that you would want to do?
Would you like to field that first?
Michelle, please.
Michelle?
Yes. So I have a rule. I never badmouth an elected official that I am running for their office. Because guess what? If you win that office, you're going to be that person that potentially could be talked bad about. So I don't do that. But I will tell you some things that I have in place and I plan to implement when I come into county commission office, if I should so win your vote. I would love to address transparency, information, hands-on visitations. We have got to be better as county commissioners at visiting the cities in the county. There are 24, and I say a half with the Bluffdale mayor because half of their city is in Utah County. But we have got to be out there in the community asking questions, and not just to the elected officials. I've been that. I know my agendas. I know. We want to hear from the citizens and the communities of what can we do better to better support, serve, and lift you.
Thank you. Brent?
The first thing that I want to do is I want to reform the commissioner's office. I want to get their salaries down to where it should be. If that's the median income, then that's where it should be. I've actually proposed something smaller than that. I also want to see those bureaucracy lines taken out from us that should have been done years ago or months ago. They have a PIO officer in the commissioner's office. How many have received information from this individual? No, because one, the individual left, and then they're going to rehire, and apparently they've got somebody else in mind to rehire that. Why do we need that? When us as commissioners can take on that job and get out there. The other thing I'd like to do when I say reform is I think we need more representation in further parts of the county. You have the south end of the county that is not being represented. You have the west side out in Saratoga Springs and Eagle Mountain and Fairfield and Cedar Fort. They're not being represented. I'd like to look at and explore bringing in 5 county commissioners at a salary that does not equal what they're getting now. In fact, it would actually bring that salary down to a workable level. So those are the things that I'd like to do.
Thank you. You want to do the follow-up question about bullet point 3 on question 1?
Yeah, that is actually a good question. Thank
Yeah.
you, Chris. Do you have a signature project or initiative that you'd like to champion?
Me?
Yep,
You'll go first. Okay. I think that our businesses are very vital in our community. We got to have businesses, but we also have to have the infrastructure, the water sources available. So the things that I'd like to champion is looking at alternative type of energy. I don't know about you, but I hate driving up the Spanish Fork Canyon and seeing those windmills. Why not look at nuclear energy? Nuclear energy is safe. We all hear about the 3 Mile Island incident in Chernobyl, but if you actually look at nuclear energy over the time period that it's been in place, you don't see a lot of disasters. You don't see increased cancer rates. So I'd like to look at nuclear energy and bringing in something like that to give us more power and get rid of infrastructure or power that's not really efficient for our needs. If we want to grow as a county with businesses, we got to have the energy, we got to have the resources. So I think a nuclear energy portion should be observed and looked at and be highly considered.
Okay, thank you, Michelle.
It's interesting because in the position I've been in, I was 7 years on the Provo School Board and went right into being the mayor for 8 years. And all these positions, when you think of initiatives and ideas, your mind just gets flooded because you've been able to accomplish things. You've been able to do some of these big initiatives. I know water is a priority. Water is what we fought about right out of the gate. The first, if you read the history of Provo, that's the first battle was over water. We are still in that fight. We are still worried about our water, and because without water, we can't thrive. I was so honored to tackle the water issues in Provo and tell my directors, listen to me, you guys, get around the table. We don't want to be in a drought. In 2023, it was a golden year. We had a lot of rain. It was heaven. The water was coming out. We were loving, our kids were playing at the parks. We have got to tackle water at the county level. I did it at Provo. I can do it at the county.
Very good. Stacy, all of this is going to take money. Why don't you ask question 7?
Okay. This question gets at your strategies and ideas for fiscal responsibility. As the county faces future funding needs, what solutions would you pursue to balance the budget and fund essential services? And this should be Michelle, right?
Yes, thank you. So the answer is not bigger government, smarter government. Big government does not solve problems. Streamlined, efficient government solves problems and moves the needle. As of today, there are 1,254 employees in Utah County. They are running on a budget of $168 million general fund budget. I have already spent time with Gina Tanner, the auditor, and we have brainstormed ideas of how to take the budget, make it more friendly, transparent, make it so that citizens can follow their dollar. We want to implement where the citizens can track their tax dollars, where they're going and what they're being used for. We're excited about that. Accountability matters when you're dealing with taxpayer dollars, and you have to hold us accountable. You're the ones that elect us. It's your seat. Hold us accountable and let us prove to you that we're fiscally responsible.
Okay, thank you. Brent.
First off, I'd like to, as I said, get down the salary. So we need to look at the commissioner's office first and get that under control. I'm glad she brought up the auditor's office. Maybe some of you know this, some of you don't know this. They have a program that they bought 3 years ago in the auditor's office, a computer program that was supposed to make everything work faster and better. But apparently nobody followed up on how is it going to interlace with the system they had now. It's 3 years in, it's $1 million over budget, and nobody's been held accountable. Why? Why hasn't somebody been held accountable for these? Those are the things that I would look at and say, where are the inefficiencies? And go after those inefficiencies and say, somebody has to be accountable. Those are the things that I want to look at, and also with the transparency. That's a buzzword that a lot of politicians use. I want to say, what do we have to do to show that we are open? And that is, you come to my office anytime, you can talk to me. You don't have to talk to a county administrator who I want to get rid of as soon as I get elected.
Okay, thank you. Knowing a little bit about your history background, both of you, you know as well as I do, Utah County is known as a business-friendly county. In fact, Utah is a very business-friendly state. But there are forces outside and inside that are even suggesting that somehow we list away from those free market principles. How do you plan to preserve and protect the quality of life? And specifically, do you also view Utah County as a business-friendly county? And how will you help maintain that reputation? And we'll start with Brent this time.
You know, we have some great businesses in Utah County. In fact, if you go back in the history, you look at Weasley Monuments. They've been in since the 1800s, like 1890. You have Lehigh Roller Mill, I think in 1906 or right in the early 1900s that they've been here. There's a candy factory that I wasn't aware of in Provo that's been in operation for the early 1900s for a long time. Those are the businesses that we want. I want to make sure those businesses, if they can stay this long, we want other businesses to come and sustain our economic growth. We also have, we were voted, I think in 2024, the best city or the best county to grow a family and to grow a business. I think that's obvious with the businesses that have come in, especially along the point of the mountain with all the computer stuff that's come in. I want to support those. Businesses is vital, but we also can't outbuild too fast. Because if we do, and it becomes gridlock, what happens? Businesses say, I'm leaving. I can't get the people to my business. So we need to make sure our infrastructure is up and running.
Okay, thank you. Michelle.
So I always shout out, we are open for business. And what does that mean? That means we want businesses to be in Utah County. We want them to come here. We want them to grow. We want them to stay here. Business impacts all of us for the good. It lowers our taxes. They feed into the system. They employ people. All the things that make a community strong. Families build that neighborhood and keep it strong and going and moving forward, but businesses are the heart of it. We need business-friendly environments. And I'll tell you what, some of the best conversations I've ever had when it comes to streamlining budget or being surgical with the budget has been with business owners. Nobody knows better than a business owner how to manage a tight budget and how to live month to month and still come out surviving. I would love to get the businesses together, form a coalition, and say, help us be better in Utah County. Help us do better. They are the ones that have lived it. They are the ones that know it. And Utah County is open for business.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Stacy.
Yeah. I'm really interested in this question. This should be you, Michelle, first. What is your vision for intentional growth in the county?
So growth, it's fascinating to me because some people are so afraid of growth. And because they've had a bad experience, maybe something in their backyard that went wrong, some NIMBYism of some sort. But I'm telling you, growth is coming with or without us. And we better get ready. And if you don't embrace it and get ahead of it and control it, it is going to roll over you. How do you control growth? How do you get ready for it? You start looking at deals and ideas that are 30 years out. We have to worry about infrastructure. Nobody wants to talk about infrastructure. It's the ugly, expensive stuff in the ground. But I am here to tell you, as president of all the mayors of the state of Utah for years, those mayors in those communities that have built out too fast are miserable. They are just, you're in line for hours to get out of your own little community to get to your work. Infrastructure is the key. Getting ahead of it, being proactive and not reactive.
Thank you. Brent.
I also want to see our county grow because businesses actually benefit greatly to our citizens and to our children that will be growing up that will need jobs. And we want to keep a lot of our children here. But we also, as she pointed out, our infrastructure. Our infrastructure, they plan a few years ahead. Our growth in population is expected to hit double by the year 2050 or sooner. We have the Olympics coming in 8 years. Yet we look and focus on our infrastructures, oh, we can just do this road. We need to start planning now. We need to have our infrastructure in place as if we were already in the 2040s, 2050 era. Not waiting, not having, I don't know how many people have had their roads tore up for some utility, and 6 months later, what happens? It gets tore up again by some other. Why can't we correlate that and say, if you're going to tear up this road, you people need to get together and find out what has to go in there, and you do it together, not 6 months apart where we just waste money. So I would like to do that.
Thank you. Well, you bring up our next question with great eloquence because, well, Brent, you came down from Ogden to be here.
Yes.
You probably saw a lot of traffic on the way, and our next question is about traffic congestion. Yeah, we need a plan, and we need to plan ahead, and infrastructure and determining that. But be specific about how you can address traffic congestion in Utah County. Those that travel to Salt Lake, we do it all the time. We just head north, and it's a 50-minute drive. But those in Salt Lake do not want to come down to Utah County. It's like a 4-hour drive for them, they feel. So is that because we have a lot of traffic congestion? And if so, where are the biggest pain points in Utah County, and how would you address those pain points?
Well, as soon as you go over the point of the mountain, it's a pain point all the way to Springville. So every one of those exits have to be redevised or something. The other thing is we need to have the mass transit, the front runner, maybe running more often and giving better choices. I know right now, Sunday, it doesn't operate. The front runner is a great idea. The other thing that, and it could be more expensive, I haven't really looked into it, but what about they use them in Disneyland. It's skipping my...
Monorail.
Monorail. Why not look at a monorail system in certain areas? Those are things that I would like to look at. I would like to see more money coming to us without strings attached from the federal government and from the state, and stop having Utah County being put last on the list for our infrastructure. As we know that up north in the Davis County, they're getting a lot of money up there, and we're getting left behind here. And they don't plan on doing some more on-ramps and off-ramps down towards the southern part because there's no money, because Davis County's taking it all up there. So I want to fight for that money to come back here to our county. We are the fastest growing county. We should have the money.
Thank you, Brent. Michelle, same question. Where are the pain points, and how will you address those?
Well, Brent, you'll be thrilled to know Front Runner is going to be double-tracked, and that is going to take it from a 30-minute wait to a 15-minute wait, and it is already planned to go all the way out to Payson. So it's coming, and we're excited about that. Active transportation is now going to have to be a part of our conversation, our daily conversation. Transportation affects all of our daily quality of life. It makes us have a good day or a bad day, and it is fascinating to watch the conversations about it. I love this because this is our moment. This is when Utah County can shine. We can get organized. We can go around to the cities, get the mayors, meet with them, the citizens, say, what do you need? How can we help you? Get organized. County commissioners, that should be their job, to support and lift the cities, and then let's get up to the state. We're projected to be the largest county by the Olympics in 2034. So let's get up there. Let's fight for what we deserve. It's time for the funding for transportation to come to Utah County instead of heading to Davis County. We can do it. We just need the right people in place to build the relationships and get up to the state and start the fight.
Thank you. Harvey, why don't you look at number 5 and articulate a question for our candidates regarding how we resource this, including our natural resources available to us.
Yeah, so I'll just ask the question that's on this page. A lot of the natural lands that make Utah Valley such a desirable place to live are under increasing pressure from development. How do you think about protecting open space when there's real demand for land and growth?
So is it me, right? Yes. Okay, great. Well, I'm a huge proponent for private property rights. I live it, I believe it, I support it. I was born and raised in Provo. I grew up with that beautiful farmland on the west side. We used to ride our friends' horses out and fish off the back of the horses in Utah Lake. It is a dream. I was speaking up at the state, and they told me, the ag committee came and told me, did you know that Utah County has the most rich soils because of the way it's placed geographically? The slope, the gradual slope down to the lake and into this lake that's full of minerals, that soil is #1 in the state of Utah. We need to protect those. We need to make sure that farmers know there's options. If you want to, we want you to farm forever. It's the saddest day as mayor when my friends come in and say, my dad died, my grandpa died, and we want to sell, and my siblings want to get the most bang for their buck. We want high development out on this farmland. No all day to that. We need to remember why Utah County is so special. It's special because we have a little bit of everything, and we need to keep that going.
Thank you. Brent.
Natural resources. This was an interesting topic because down in southern Utah, there's a family that had a bunch of land, and they sold it to an environmental group, and I can't remember the environmental group. And they said, oh, we're going to make this space so that it's going to remain pristine. Well, once they signed it over, and they told them, oh, you're going to keep it in your own name, so you'll still have control of it, but they can't build one single shed on it. So we got to be careful when we enter into some of these contracts with protecting our area. I am also a proponent of private rights for people. That's one of the problems they're having up in Box Elder County. They're complaining about the data center, but the county commissioner's hands are tied. Because why? Because the person has bought the water rights and they control the water rights. And they're saying, well, what's happening with them? Well, those are the things that the county commissioner needs to look at. We also need to go up to the state and say, stop allowing the state to dictate what our people want in our county and our cities. And I would fight for that.
Okay, thank you. I mentioned in the earlier session that I've noticed some not only increased traffic, but those that are experiencing homelessness. And it's becoming something that's been increasing over the last 18 months. And I know that those are tied closely to mental health issues. And perhaps even substance abuse and disorders of that nature. How do each of you plan to address the topic for those that are experiencing homelessness in Utah County? And Michelle, we'll start with you.
Great. So we've been dealing with this for a long time here. Homelessness is not a one-size-fits-all. It is not. Trillions, I think we're in the trillions now in the nation of money has been invested in it, and the problem is still not solved. Let me tell you a story. I had a single mom come and ask if she could visit with me. She's a single mom, mother of 3, living paycheck to paycheck, lost her job, got evicted, is in her car with her 3 little girls and afraid to go to one of our warming centers because of the drugs, the crime, the people that are in those. It broke my heart. That is not who we are. That really stuck with me. The positive is I was able to help her. We have resources. We have a lot of wraparound services here in Utah County. My messaging is this. If you want to come and change your life, you're ready. You're ready to get out of that lifestyle. You want to make a change, and you're ready to go. Utah County has services. We will help. We will help surround and support you. But if you're going to still keep doing the behaviors that are breaking crimes, breaking rules, and impacting our citizens, please no. Please no, no, no. It matters. We have to protect our neighborhoods and hold these folks accountable at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Stacey, why don't you ask? Oh, go ahead, Brett. Yeah.
Interesting that sometimes we think that, oh, government has a solution. I don't believe government has the solution. In fact, the scariest words we hear from President Reagan was what? I'm here from the government and I'm here to help. We should be afraid of those words, okay? So sometimes there was a study done, or actually not a study. What happened was a dentist decided, you know what? We're gonna take some of these addicts and these individuals off the street. We're gonna help them get their teeth back in order. We're going to help them, but on a position. So this was private, this wasn't government. They said, we will help you get your teeth back and we won't charge you for it, but what we're gonna do is you have to commit to going to counseling. You have to commit to go to drug rehab. And they did. And what they found was this. After they fixed their teeth, the people started to smile. People started going out because they were getting counseling from private entities. They were going out and getting jobs. Why? Because they had some self-worth to them. That's what we need to do. We need to get our businesses and people that can help us get these people out of the rut that they're in. I look at it, there's a private entity out there that can do this. And when you do that with a private entity, those people feel more obligated to do what's right, instead of saying, well, the government paid for it, so what do I care? I want to see something like that. Again, it's a multifaceted, complex issue, but I think those are the type of things that we need to look at as well.
Thank you. Stacy will have our next question, and then Harvey.
Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about the time commitment it takes for this job. Serving as a commissioner requires daytime meetings, evening events, and ongoing commitments. How will you make the time to serve fully? This will be Brent first.
Well, as I said, I'm ready to retire. I've actually been ready to retire for the last 2 years, but because the anesthesia needs in the country is so great, I constantly get hounded by, can you come help us do this? Can you come help us here because we're short and we need the help? And I've obviously said yes. And in fact, my wife tells me, please just say no so you can spend more time here instead of traveling. Because I'm independent, I go out. I know what a 1099 is, and I've been on that side doing my own health care and making my own retirement and paying my own taxes compared to a W-4. Okay, or W-2, I'm sorry. And so I know that side on both sides of those issues. So with that being said, I'm ready to retire. I'm ready to go in and do full-time work for the county commissioners, attend meetings. I love to work. You can ask my wife. She begs me to stop working sometimes, and I will work way into the evenings if I have to. I've been on call. I've been up 23 to 24 hours a time doing my practice. And I'm willing to jump in and do the work and be ready to fulfill those obligations.
Thank you, Brent.
Okay.
I love this question because I've been living it. You don't run one of the biggest cities in the state as a strong mayor and not live your life in the public eye 24/7. I tell people after my 7 years on the school board and my 8 years as mayor that, listen, you cannot run for a public office, and even those folks that are in here that are part-time, you ask any of them, it's a full-time job. You are not working a job, you are living a lifestyle. You have to be okay with that. You have to be accessible to the public. Come with me to the grocery store on Saturday. It's really fun. No one will come with me and my family. It is 2 hours, but you know what? I love that. Do you know why I love going to the grocery store? And everyone's telling me, do pickup or whatever. No, all day to that. I love going and having to answer to the constituents that I serve. I have to be held accountable, and they hold me accountable. It is a full-time job. There are no days off when you're in public office. And I am excited and ready to jump in and work hard for you.
Thank you. Okay, Harvey.
Michelle, this will be your question first. There are a lot of similarities between the two of you. You love Utah, you love the county, you have families, you love your children, you serve the public. But what is a distinguishing characteristic between you that separates you from the person that's on the stage with you? We'll start with you, Michelle.
First of all, my children are rotten. My
I love
grandchildren are
Bronson.
perfect, but my children are rotten. Listen, the difference is very clear. You're looking at someone that has jumped in, done this job. It is who I am. Believe me, I tried to calm myself and say, okay, maybe you catch your breath. Maybe you don't keep serving the community. I had job offers I could have taken, but you know what? There is this fire in me. And my husband says it's a sticker that says, "We'll work for free," that I wear on my forehead. I've been wearing it since we got married, and I love it. It is this desire to serve, the desire to lift, the desire to make a difference. Because you know what? We are generational Utah County folks. My kids are here, my grandkids, and they are going to stay here. And what I want to do is make a difference so that in 30 years, generations later, my service will have mattered.
Thank you.
I think what makes me difference is, yes, experience is good, but it also comes with some problems. I have no ties to political entities out there. I have no ties to cities to scratch their back because they scratch my back. I don't have any obligation to state and local officials. I'm coming in with a new set of ideas, a new fresh eyes to put on the budget, to look at what our county needs and where the corrections need to be. I come in with knowledge on the public side because I worked for the fire department and I seen how they wasted money constantly and could do nothing about it because I was just a low-level person, to where I've had my own businesses or my own business, and I have had to meet certain obligations on a regular basis. So I know both sides of it. I know how the business side works and I know how the public sector side works. I'm willing to put in the time. When I'm elected, I will put in the time for you, and I will do everything I can to make sure we either roll back taxes and get our budget under control. That's my promise to you.
Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Michelle, for that. Harvey, any final questions before I go to the penultimate question?
No, I'm excited about the penultimate question.
All right. Okay. Stacy?
Yes,
You good?
same,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. We asked each of our candidates to submit a question that they'd like asked of them. Brent, we'll take your question first.
Okay.
I have to say, I smiled ear to ear when I saw the question, and his question is, what hobbies do you enjoy the most?
Hobbies I enjoy the most. I like old cars. I helped restore a 53 Corvette and had it in my possession for quite a long time until I departed with it. It broke my heart. I have a 68 Mustang that I'm trying to restore, and it's been up on blocks. But because of being so busy with my practice and that, I've had a hard time getting to that. But the other thing that I took up that's been fun and exciting, I don't know how many in here have been beekeepers. I took up beekeeping. They're a fascinating species, yes, I want to say insect, but they're not an insect. They give us honey. But with that, as a beekeeper, you have to make sure, one, you don't crowd them too much, because if you do, what happens? They leave the hive. They'll swarm and leave. What happens with our businesses and infrastructure here? If we crowd it too much, people are going to leave. Our businesses are going to leave. You have to not panic when things go bad. Wait until you're sitting in a bee suit and you have tons of bees flying around you and landing on you, and maybe a couple of them get into your suit and sting you. You have to remain calm and collected about it and say, okay, wait a second, let's calm down and take the time. You have to make sure that they don't get infested by mites. You have to treat these individuals, because they're brilliant individual or species. You know, they do a little dance.
We're running short on time, Brent. You'll have to wrap this up. It's a great analogy, but you'll have to wrap it up.
Okay, I'm wrapping up. I love both those hobbies, and that's what I do.
Okay, thank you. Michelle, same question.
So this is usually when I open it up to Q&A, when I'm at a speaking engagement, people say, I tell them, I'll answer anything, ask me anything. And a lot of the time, people will raise their hand and say, how much is your food bill? I have a huge family, I have big eaters, and it's hilarious. And I am not, like, I'm clumsy, let's just say it. I'm tall, I'm lanky, I'm like a giraffe, I'm clumsy. My kids got some great talent and skills from their dad, but I'll tell you what I'm so proud of. I'm an excellent cook. I am so good at cooking, and not just cooking little fancy foods, but massive meals for 100 people. Come on over. I have started teaching cooking classes to my grandchildren. And my husband has to leave the kitchen because he just can't bear it with all the chaos and the spills. And I love it so much. And I have loved that little moment. And bringing that love of cooking to my 7 grandkids has been great. Besides that, avid book reader. I probably finish 5 books a month. I mean, as of late, I've been hitting 7 books a month. Avid book reader and avid outdoor trail runner.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you. That was actually quite delightful. I learned something new about each of you. Appreciate that. Okay, our last item is really our closing statements from each of you. Let's see, Brent went first last time. Michelle, will you take us and lead us out with your 90-second closing statement?
Yes, thank you. Citizens, you deserve someone that knows good governance. In case you weren't aware, in October, we won the best run city in America. Do you know what the algorithm was? Delivering the highest quality of service at the lowest tax dollar. No one in the Western United, no cities ever even come close to it, and Provo won it. You deserve good governance. You deserve someone who knows how to run government. You deserve someone with proven experience that delivers results. You deserve someone that's a relationship builder, that knows how to get results, and through that, without hitting the taxpayers, with finding outside funding. Prior to me becoming mayor, the 20 years before, those were great mayors. They brought in $120 million into Provo. The day I left office on January 4th, I was at $378 million of outside funding for Provo. You deserve a leadership that delivers and not just talks. If you want someone who will step in, work hard, and make it happen, I'm asking for your vote. I am excited. I'm energized. I am ready to go to work. This will be a new job for me. County. I've never worked in the county. I'm coming in with fresh eyes. I am coming in with the desire to respond to the people that put me in my seat, and that's the taxpayers. I want to do this work. I'll do it well. You hold me accountable, and I'm asking for your vote for County Commissioner Seat A, Michelle Kaufusi.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Brent. Well done. How about a round of applause for our candidates tonight? Sorry. Brent, sorry, Brent.
I've talked enough, but I'll be more than happy to take my 90 seconds. I come in also, as I said earlier, with fresh eyes, no attachments. I'm not a career politician. I might not have some of the experience that others have, but I can guarantee you I have no loyalties to other individuals in political positions. I come in clean and free of those loyalties. I can make decisions and not be pressured or coerced into saying, well, we supported you on this, you need to support me on this. That's a benefit to me. That's where I think I have the advantage. I want to see more efficiency in our government. I want to look at each department, and instead of rubber stamping a department by saying, what's your budget and what do you need? I want to say, what are the essentials in your budget? And what can we cut out? It's you, the taxpayers, that are funding this. Not, I look at my taxes and say, why? Why am I getting this when I'm in this service? The other thing is, I live in a county island. I don't live in a city. I have no obligation to a city. I live in an island. I see what the county can provide for us and what they can't. And you know what? They don't provide some of the residents in county islands like other areas. And they give those services and that money to cities. What about us? What about us that are in the county islands? Those are the things I'm going to fight for. Those are the things I'm going to bring. And I would hope you would vote for me, Brent Bowles, Commission Seat A.
Thank you, Brent. It was an honest mistake. Panelists, thank you for keeping me on track. Appreciate you both. And now I'll begin to say my concluding remarks. First of all, I just wanted to perhaps acknowledge the spouses. As these two candidates were speaking, that thought crossed my mind. For those of you that are the spouses in this room, will you just let us give you a round of applause for your contributions and work?